Hello, welcome to our sixth module. Can you believe we are halfway through this program? A lot of things are going to be happening over the next, second half of this program because we are getting really deep into the marketing phase right now. So, marketing is going to be here with us for a while, and we are going to start creating content today. So, we are going to take into account what we learned last module. We're going to use that into this module. Like I said, many times before, everything builds off of everything else. So we want to make sure that before we start building out our plan, that we are going to write really great content and understand how to write it really well. So in this module, we will understand how we can make our content work for us. So this is going to be key into building relationships. So we want to make sure that we are building relationships simultaneously around all aspects of our business and all of our social media platforms. We also want to create different types of content. We don't want to always just have inspirational or motivational content. We don't always want to just be promoting our things, and we don't always want to just be promoting or posting value. There has to be a good mix of everything. So I'm going to go through the different types of content and what all should be included. And so then begin to understand how to build a marketing plan. So what kind of content do you currently write? So I just want you to kind of think about what content you write every single week or every single day. Is it always just value? Is it always promoting something? But in reality, there are four main content types that we will include in our overall strategy. So these types include promotional, storytelling, value posts, and thought leadership. So this will help us build authority. So we're going to dive deeper into every single one of these posts right now, but again, each one does a different job in our plan, right? Because again, if we want to just think about it, promotional, what does that do, right? It lets people know how they can work with us. That's basically all that does, right? So then storytelling is how they get to know us and how they can start relating to us, how our audience can start resonating with our content. Value post is going to be you're giving them some helpful tips, right? You're giving them insight on how you help them, how you work with people, and giving them solutions to their everyday problems. Thought leadership is definitely going to be building authority. So, this is going to be things that you disagree with, things that you feel strongly about, things that you just are very set on, to the point of this is going to set you apart from all the other people in your industry. So, like I said, each type of content is going to be built in a similar way, but each type has its own job on connecting and building relationships with your audience. For example, promotional content will be to promote your programs or services. Storytelling is where you're going to be telling your story to your audience. Value post is how you begin to help your audience and solve their problems. Thought leadership is going to help build authority and help you stand out in what you will be known for. So let's analyze your current content. How often are you promoting your offers? Is it every day, or maybe is it just once a week on one platform? Do you only post value posts? And this is what I see a lot of the time is we're only just there to help people and that's it. They're not really getting to know us. They don't really know much about our life. We're not really building any kind of other relationship factors here. So are there thoughts that you have in your industry that you haven't shared because you're worried to alienate people? So, again, this is something that I struggled with for a really long time. And that was, speaking about the DMs or speaking about building relationships and not cold messaging, and also not doing sales calls as a ways to sign clients, like where you have to do only sales calls and that's how you sign clients. So, are there any kind of thoughts like that where you just disagree with maybe what you see in your industry, aspects to your business that your audience can start to resonate with? And then I want you to see, how are you sharing more about yourself? So, are you sharing insights to your world? Are you sharing things about your life? We don't have to share our whole entire life story, but like we saw in the last module, brand story and brand storytelling is going to be very vital into building relationships with our audience. And then, are you writing content that is sharing what problem your audience has? So this is going to be called problem aware content. And this is something where we want to make sure that we are pointing out the problem that our audience is facing. Like, hey, guess what? I know that you're facing this right now. I'm going to tell you how to solve it. So let's get started in this. I want you to first review your content pillars from the earlier module. How are you specifically helping your clients? So you should have the 3 buckets, and then we have a pillar on storytelling already, right? So we want to make sure that we are hitting those buckets and making sure that we are helping people in those 3 areas. So let's review that. The next thing is, let's review our brand story. What is our turning point, or what stories do we have to share that would inspire and help our audience right now? So this would be just from the last module. What is our brand story? How did we get into, how do we get to our business? Why did we start our business? Why do we think the way we think? What stories have helped us become the person we are now? And then how can you start implementing more promotional material? So I would say that it's very rare that you're probably promoting every single day. It's probably more common that you're not promoting enough. And with that, it's okay, well, how do I not be annoying? And so I will say this, the people that are following you and like your content, they're not going to mind to be sold to. Like, that's just how it is. It's going to be very it's going to be okay. And the people that are annoyed with you, we don't need those people anyways. But this is not going to be where you need to promote every day. It's just we need to do it more than once a week. So above all else though, how can we build this to a consistent plan? So I know that this is going to be a lot of information, but I wanted to put this in here before we start going any further. It's, how can we do this? How does this work for us? And so we can start to do things like, okay, well, I have these 4 types of content. Maybe I do a post every day around those 4 different things. I'm making sure I promote once a week on this platform, making sure that I am making sure I'm giving value, making sure I'm sharing a story or a testimonial, making sure that I am really setting myself apart with thought leadership. So all of those can happen every single week. So your brand and content pillars are going to be consistent throughout the plan as well. So this is why we established the brand and content pillars very early on, because again, everything is derived from those. Everything that we do is derived from the triangle exercise that we did, the content, deciding what 3 content pillars we have, and how we specifically help people. So this is going to help you constantly create content from the same place so that your messaging is consistent throughout, and it will be easier to come up with these ideas. So, we're not going, Monday morning, we're like, oh, what am I going to write about today? We'll just go to your brand and content pillars and then go to the different types of posts. How can I provide thought leadership this week? How can I build authority? How can I do promotional content? Like, what can I do to be consistent and also hit all these buckets? So, how to write the perfect post. We're going down to the specifics of a post. These are long form posts. So these are going to be the posts that you will create that help build your relationship with audiences. So this is going to be consisting of 5 parts. And this can be, and you'll see this later in the module, but this is going to be, for most of our buckets, you can utilize this template. So there's 5 parts. You have a headline, you have a pain point, and then you're going to talk about the wants, and then how you help your clients, and then a call to action. So here's an example post. This is going to be something very simple that I would probably create. Keeping your ideal clients in mind, right? So my clients have trouble signing clients. So I'm going to say why you are not signing clients right now. And so that's going to be, you want something that's attention grabbing, right? You don't have to necessarily do it all in caps, but you want something that's going to be attention grabbing. Pain point, you're doing all of the things and working 24/7, but just can't seem to sign the clients. You need to leave your 9 to 5. So that is a very common pain point. And we're going to describe this here. What is their pain point? They want all of these things. They're currently doing this. We want to get inside their head. So if there's any kind of like emotions that you can think of, like maybe something that can be added here would be, I know that you are close to burnout. I know that you're frustrated and you feel like you're not enough. So that is something that you want to include here as well. Just making sure you're relating to your clients as much as you can. The want. I know you want to be able to leave your soul-sucking job, have more time with your family, and build a business that makes you fulfilled. So again, we are relating to them in an emotional way. Soul-sucking job. We know how they're feeling in their 9 to 5 job. They just really don't like it. Have more time with your family and build a business that makes you fulfilled. They want to be fulfilled in their career, and this is something I personally struggled with. So again, relating to them that this is where they want to go. Now, how do you help them? How will you help them get from pain point to want? You're going to describe it here. You can go ahead and read it. I won't read it all out for you, but I outlined 3 steps that they can do. This could be something where you do like bullet points. It makes it very easy and readable in a long form post. And then the last part of this is you definitely want to always have a call to action. And now if you utilize Facebook groups, or if you have been already promoting a lot and you don't want to then have another thing where you are promoting, call to action can be what you want them to do, right? So it's sign up for your email list, send you a message, book a call with you, sign up for your webinar. It can be whatever you want. And then also too, if you've been, like I said, if you've been promoting all of those things, it's very beneficial then to just say, you can always ask a question as well. And like, tell me your thoughts on this below. That's also a call to action. So examples on how to make this template work across the board. So again, like I said, this template can be utilized with all the different types of content, types. So promotional, if you want to think of a client testimonial example. So this could be where you are highlighting how your client went from $0 to $10,000, in 60 days. And then you're going to start out with sharing the struggles, the pain point at first. Then you're going to say what the client wanted or where they're at now. And then you're going to share how you specifically worked with that client and how you got them from 0 to 10K months. And then, of course, at the end, you're going to promote whatever your latest promotion is. Now, storytelling with you. Storytelling posts, again, can be utilized with this template. So again, you're going to highlight your pain point at the beginning, what were you struggling with, and then where you're at now, and then how you got there. So making sure that we have a really great headline as well and a call to action. But this is the meaty part of this, where you can tell stories and say, okay, here's what I was struggling with. And it's also equally important, make sure that the pain point resonates with your audience. That's how you relate it back to them. So thought leadership content is going to be a little different. So this will only be slightly different, like a slightly different content format. This is dedicated to you voicing your opinions, sharing things you agree or disagree with, things to watch out for your industry, etc. This can be a benefit from having a story bank where you pull items from it. So like something like a story bank, or even just a list or brain dump list that you can call it. If you are, scrolling Instagram, scrolling Facebook, and you're seeing people post about stuff and you just really don't like it, or you see something that kind of like resonates with you and you want to write about it too and give your take on it, that is a really, really beneficial thing to do. It may be that you want to write it right now and you can post it or talk about it on your stories, totally fine. But then you can also post it to a story bank and you can write about it later. You can just have a list of these things. So here we are at the end. So this was a lot of information to take in. We're gearing up to creating our marketing plan. So review the notes from today's session. Again, we have a lot of notes here. Practice the 4 types of content. I can review if you want. So just make some example posts. And again, if you want me to look at them, please let me know. But this is going to be promotional storytelling, value, and thought leadership. So making sure you have those 4 types. How does this feel for you? Does this all make sense, or is this overwhelming? We can definitely talk this through. And create a possible story bank. So not only can you create a story bank for the thought leadership topics, but then you can also think about maybe some ideas you want to post about down the road. Maybe you have some testimonials that you haven't shared and it's been a really long time, or maybe it's something that maybe a story you haven't shared with your audience yet either, and then you want to share that, on a given day or a specific day. And then I want you to start thinking about your content plan. So, again, if this feels overwhelming to you, please let me know. But next time, we're going to be incorporating all of these into our marketing plan. So, it'll be much more clear for you right now. But we kind of talked about that in this module of how we're going to incorporate everything and how we're going to make sure that all of these buckets are touched. So, if you have any questions, please let me know through Voxer, and I will see you in the next module.